Next, we're dealt King Jack offsuit in the cutoff. The straddle's on every hand, so we're playing 10, 25, 50. The hijack limps in. It's always a great sign when you see open limping. It's rare that it happens in a high stakes game like this one, so I'm happy about it. I raised to 200 in order to isolate the opponent in position. The button's going to spoil our plan. He calls. The under the gun straddler calls as well. The hijack is going rogue with his strategy. He 3-bets to 450. This is such a strange move that accomplishes very little. Sometimes you see this type of thing in small stakes games where the opponent limp raises with aces, but this is a terrible time to 3-bet tiny because no one's going to fold for 250 more. The hijack is going to have multiple opponents, and he's going to be playing from out of position against two of us. I suspect that we don't have the best hand, but we're getting 4-1. I call. The button is getting an even better price than us. He calls. As expected, the under the gun straddler calls as well. We're going 4 ways to the flop. It comes Queen Jack 6 rainbow. We've got second pair and a backdoor straight draw. Under the gun checks. I'm not sure what's going on, but the hijack down bets at 225 into a pot with more than 1800 in it. This is where you're at a pretty big disadvantage when you're the new player in a game like this and aren't familiar with the weird betting patterns that some of the opponents might have. I'm not folding though. I call, even though there's a good chance that if the hijack doesn't have us beat, that the button or under the gun still might have a better hand. The button calls, which is too bad because I was hoping to play this heads up in position. Under the gun folds. We're down to 3 players. The turn is the 5 of hearts. It's a blank. The hijack didn't like getting called in 2 spots on the flop. He comes to his senses and checks. Get into showdown with second pair cheaply is our goal. I check. The button isn't going to allow anyone to see a free river card. He isn't going to make the price very high either though. He bets 400. Be sure to come out to the lodge in San Antonio because you can't beat the prices people will give you. The hijack folds, indicating that he definitely didn't limp 3-bet with aces pre-flop. I have no idea what he had. I don't have any idea what's happening at all. I don't feel like we're best, but I don't have it in me to let go in case we're up against something like Jack 10 or Jack 9 suited that's putting in a small bet now with plans to take control and check back river. If we're up against a queen, maybe we can hit another jack or king. I call to advance to the river. The dealer puts out the 8 of spades. 10-9 makes a straight. I check. The opponent isn't going to bet anymore. He checks back. Our jack might just be best to win a big pot. It isn't though. The button tables ace jack offsuit. He's got us notched.
Nice hand. It's a very bizarre hand.
Everything works out as well as possible for the button. If the hijack raised initially rather than open limp, or if he 3-bet to a real sizing pre-flop, or if he bet an actual amount on the flop, then we easily could have gotten away from King Jack offsuit at any of those points. Instead, a strange sequence of events happens, causing us to kind of lose the maximum with second pair. It's almost 2 hours in when we pick up ace 5 of hearts in middle position. I haven't won a single hand yet, not even the blinds. I'm currently losing over $5,000 just running extremely cold. I raised to 150 with hopes of turning things around. The hijack, cutoff, and under the gun straddler all call. We're going 4 ways to the flop. It comes ace 8-5 with 2 diamonds. We've got top and bottom pair. Under the gun checks. With multiple opponents and multiple draws out there, we can't bet too small. I grab some black chips to wager 400. The hijack apparently didn't connect. He takes one last look at his cards before he folds. The cutoff follows suit. He pretty quickly folds as well. The player in the straddle may have a piece of the board. Perhaps he's got an ace or maybe a draw of some sort. He calls. It's down to heads up. The turn is the 9 of spades, completing the most obvious straight draw, putting a second flush draw on the board, and making it so ace-9 combos steal the lead from us. It isn't a great card, but it's better than seeing the 9 of diamonds. Under the gun checks. We're probably best, but I don't want this pot to get too big relative to our hand strength. I check back for pot control and a bit for deception. We might be able to induce a bluff from missed draws on the river. The dealer puts out the deuce of clubs. It's as blank as it gets. Under the gun checks. We almost definitely have the best hand. We're going to win our first pot of the day. The opponent probably has one pair of some sort or a missed draw. We can't get paid by missed draws. I target top pair holdings with a big overbet of 2,000. After we check back the turn, this looks totally fishy, like we're making a last-ditch effort to buy the pot. There's no way the deuce helped us and the opponent knows it. I wouldn't have bet on the flop into 3 opponents with pocket deuces, so what did I check back the turn with that I all of a sudden am confident enough to fire big on the river with for value? These are the thoughts that have to be running through the opponent's mind as he considers his options. He's a good thinking player who I'm hoping will level himself into a call with something even as light as a pair of 8s or 9s. Under the gun thinks better of it and folds. For the first time today, we see a pot pushed in our direction. we've got some work to do just to get back to even. It'd be nice to see more of that soon. 10 minutes later, we pick up pocket nines and the under the gun straddle. A player in middle position raises to 150. The big blind calls. We've got a strong hand that plays well multi-way. I call for 100 more. We're going 3 ways to the flop. It comes king, king, 6 rainbow. 2 kings out there seem bad for us, but it's actually better than 1 king. When half the kings are accounted for, rather than just one of them, it reduces the amount of combos containing top pair that our opponents will have. Also, if we're up against trips and we happen to hit a 9 at some point, there's a good chance that we can win a significantly larger pot because people don't like folding 3 of a kind. The big blind checks. I check to the pre-flop aggressor. He goes to his stack knowing that his range will have a high concentration of good hands on a paired flop like this. He bets 200. The big blind folds. When the middle position player bets into 2 players, it's more likely that he's got something strong, but it's too early for us to fold. I call to see what develops. The turn is another 6, pairing the board. It'll generally be a better card for us when we defend our straddle because we'll have more 6s in our range than our opponent. I check. Whether he continues betting or not will be really telling. If he bets, he's saying that he's not worried about the possibility of us having 6s full of kings, in addition to the possibility of us having kings full of 6s. He checks back, indicating that he's worried about something. He might just have ace high. Feels like our 9s are best. The river is the 3 of spades. It's a blank. If we check, the opponent will probably check back again. I try to extract a little extra value out of him with a small bet of 300. In addition to ace high hands, we can likely get called by pocket 8s and 7s. Occasionally, the opponent will have queens through 10s to beat us, but if we check, he might bet more than 300 with those hands, and we'd feel obligated to call just to lose more in those instances anyway. The opponent snap calls, which is scary. Our pair of 9s is enough to win it though. The opponent mucks face down. We do well to get an extra few hundred on the river to win only our second hand of the session. Nothing's come too easy so far. Here we've got the jiggities in middle position. Under the gun +2 limps in for 50. We're not going to allow people to see a flop for $50. I raise to 200. The big blind calls. The under the gun straddler 3 bets to 800. He's only got 35 total in his stack. Under the gun +2 folds. Obviously, under the gun could have us beat, but it was set up well for him to go for a squeeze. He knows that I could be raising to 200 with a wide range to isolate the limper like I did earlier with king jack offsuit. I'd certainly fold a hand like that to 800, but we're close to the top of our range. I'm not folding jacks. The opponent could definitely have a hand like ace-5 suited, queen-10 suited, or even ace-king that we're flipping with. I don't want to call and allow the big blind to come in when he'd be getting over 3-1. If the big blind had us beat, he would have 3-bet rather than call or raise, so I'm not too concerned about him, even though he has us covered. I'm going to play this aggressively.
I don't have enough other shit, so you can bag me whatever.
The big blind folds quickly. Under the gun calls. We're playing a big all-in pot with over 7,000 in the middle. When we get called quickly like that, we're either up against ace-king, aces, kings, or pocket queens. We're flipping with 16 combos of ace-king, and we're a big underdog to the remaining 18 combos of pocket pairs that have us completely dominated. The flop comes queen 7-6 with 2 spades. Doesn't change much because we're still beating ace-king and still losing to the other high pairs. The turn is the 9 of diamonds. It's a brick in this instance. The river is the 3 of diamonds. We do great to fade aces and kings on the board. Probably a big reason why we didn't see any of those come out is because Under the Gun is holding 2 kings in his hand to win a large pot and double up through us. It's like we've got a T Swift album on. The hits just keep on coming. This is a particularly devastating blow that brings our stack down to $1,850. We're stuck over $8,000 at the moment. It's about 8 hours into the session when we look down at ace-6 suited on the button. You may notice a few of those orange pieces on the table. Those are there because we're playing around with the nit game. If you win a hand, you return the nit buttons back to the dealer. The last person with an orange button has to add $1,000 to the first pot after the game ends, and anyone can win that pot. I'm one of 2 people who hasn't won a pot yet. The only other player with a nit button in front of him is the small blind on our left. I raised to 200 to ideally win pre-flop and not be on the hook to pay $1,000. Small blind calls. He almost is forced to with any 2 cards when we raise. The under the gun straddler calls as well. We're going 3 ways to the flop. It comes queen 9-5 with 2 clubs. We brick it. The opponent's check. I can't let the small blind win the pot. I bet 400. Luckily, the small blind doesn't give us any resistance. He folds quickly, which is a huge win for us already. If Under the Gun folds, we'll take down the pot and won't have to pay the nit tax. Under the Gun is the savvy player who knows that we could be betting with all kinds of garbage in order to win. He's not going to let us have the pot easily. He calls. There are quite a few draws out there, so maybe Under the Gun has one of them, and our ace high is currently best. The turn is the 3 of diamonds. It shouldn't have changed much. Under the Gun checks. I'd like to get to showdown with ace high, which has some value. Now that the small blind is out, we don't need to fight as hard for the pot either. I check back. The river is the 9 of spades. It's mostly a good card for us because the draws have all missed, and there's one less 9 that's unaccounted for. The opponent can have all kinds of straight draws, including King Jack, King 10, Jack 10, Jack 8, 10 8, 8 7, 8 6, and 7 6. You can have tons of combos containing missed clubs. You might have even floated the flop with some backdoor draws that also missed. After I checked back the turn, indicating that I don't have a strong hand, the Under the Gun player is going to feel obligated to bluff a significant percentage of the time if he has air. Ace high could definitely still be best even if we see a bet from the opponent. And we do.
No. I told my mom.
You tell your mama?
Yeah.
You win.
Ace high, whoa.
We win not only what's in the middle, but also we avoid losing the Nick game. It's been a tough day, but we're making the most of the situations we're in, thinking things through in order to bluff or make light calls when our opponents aren't likely to be as strong as they're pretending.